It's live. Did I mention that? Sorry about that. That was my fault. I accidentally turned my mic off. Okay, let me just start over. So, welcome to Spiceworks Live. For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, we've been doing this every week during the beta release of Spiceworks 6 to bring you all the latest and greatest of what's coming, kind of previews, but also do some fun behind-the-scenes stuff to introduce you to some of the dev and testing and support people that are here on the team at Spiceworks that have been working on the release. And so today we're going to sort of celebrate it being out, and we're going to have an overview of everything that's in it for those of you that don't know or haven't tuned in. So Chris Bushover is going to be talking to David Babbitt, technical program manager here at Spiceworks, about what's in the release and giving us kind of an inside, his take on sort of how it went and what his thoughts are on it. And followed by a look at all of the training and support resources that we have for you to help you get the most out of Spiceworks 6. And the other cool thing we're going to do today is we've had a couple of contests going on. One was the Beta MVP contest. We're going to be announcing the winner of that award and talking to him live via Skype today, and also announcing the winner of the Battle of the Spice Cup. So that's going to be all good stuff. And of course, like we do in every live stream, we're going to have a live Q&A at the very end where you can send in your questions and we'll answer them live. And today, every question that's asked on the air, the person who sent in that question will receive a 4 gig USB flash drive with Spiceworks 6 stuff all over it. It's very cool. So it's going to be a really fun episode. Hope you enjoy it. And with that, we're just going to jump right into a look at the features with Chris and David Babbitt.
Hey, Dave.
Chris?
We're back.
We're back. Good to see you again.
Spiceworks 6 is out.
That's right. We got it out finally.
How was that?
It's good. Good.
It was good?
It was painful.
Yeah, there we go. So from a 10,000-foot level, just give us an overview of what the development process was like.
The dev process? Well, let's talk about the release contents first, or the dev process?
Let's talk about the dev process first.
Great. So this one was interesting. So a couple of the features that landed in this release came from basically the one that I like to laugh about is we're at Spice World last year, and Scott Abel, our CEO, in front of the crowd said that we're going to be delivering knowledge base in the next year, top requested feature in the community, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I guess I'm going to work on that. And so so we decided to work on that one. There's other features that we picked from the tops of the feature request lists in the community. And so the way the release process usually goes for us is we do a bit of design and sizing up front. We're not too exact on our sizes, and so that's usually why the end of the release is not too predictable. And we work on a lot of features and get feedback early on from users. And then we start the beta. We usually like to get about 2 months of beta, and especially when we're making environmental changes, meaning the way the application is going to behave depends heavily on what's installed in your environment. And so in this case, when we upgraded the scanner to use Nmap, that's highly environmental. So Nmap is pretty unpredictable, as we learned through the beta and after the beta. And so, so the beta ended up stretching out a little bit for us, and that's kind of the release in a nutshell. It's pretty hectic, especially at the end.
So, given that, why don't you discuss a few of the top features of Spiceworks 6?
All right.
This release has all the elements of the classic Nick Cage release. Namely, I understand the staff got free food during the release. How wasn't I a part of this? And it's full of action-packed features.
Sorry, Chris. This is an impressive Nick Cage dry erase board drawing here. Okay.
Can I swear? Because I'd really like to right now.
All right. So I had to write them down because there's a lot of features in this release, and so I'm going to go over the biggest features that we did in a little bit of detail, and then I'll kind of name through some of the other ones. So the big features, namely, agent. So we built an agent. Typically, the way that Spiceworks scanning works in the past is that you install the Spiceworks server, and the Spiceworks server scans, reaches out into your network and tries to find the devices, and then logs into each of them remotely in order to pull their inventory details back. And so the agent enables you to get to devices in your inventory, or rather get devices into your inventory and manage them when they're not on the network directly. So think about like your mobile sales team, stuff like that. These guys are on the go. They're never on the home network, so they're never going to get scanned in the traditional way that Spiceworks scans. And so you install an agent on their computer, anytime they're on the VPN or on the home network, if they come into the office briefly, then they'll be able to register with your Spiceworks server, put up all their details as far as software installed and disk-free space and all the things that you care about. So that's the agent. The knowledge base, another big feature that we built. So the knowledge base is designed for you and your mates that work inside the application to share tips and procedures and things like that. So if you have common procedures for how to solve specific problems, I like to think about it in terms of sort of like prescriptive problems to uncommon, or rather prescriptive fixes to uncommon problems. And so something that doesn't come up very often but has a very easy step-by-step solution, you're not going to remember how to do that solution every single time it comes up. So these are an easy way for you to go look back at your notes. You can also take those knowledge base articles that you write or gather from the community, and you can share them on your user portal. So if you run a help desk through Spiceworks, you can avoid certain calls or tickets coming from end users by putting requests on your user portal. Or knowledge base articles on your user portal. That might work out for you?
Avoiding calls from users?
That's right. Not going to happen.
I just don't answer the phone.
Don't answer the phone. Other big feature is cloud service discovery. And so we've had a couple of releases now that do some amount of cloud service discovery. And up to this point, those features have been or rather, cloud services has been discovering the ones that like the IT guy like Chris has installed on the network. So something like backup solutions and stuff like that, that of course he pays for. Like rack space emails, what we use here. So stuff like that you would see in cloud services discovery in the cloud services area of inventory in the app prior to this release. And so in this release, what we're actually doing is we're scanning all the end users' computers and figuring out what cloud services they're using. So we call those the unmanaged services. So things like Dropbox that you probably don't want every one of your users sharing. Maybe go to my PC or something like that if you don't want users logging in to their computer remotely from the hotel, stuff like that.
Yeah, Spiceworks employees.
So you can set up alerts around these things. So when we discover that end users have those, they're using those cloud services, then you can get an alert for that and then maybe go and reprimand that user. And the other biggest feature that we added was a new tablet application, so both for Android and iPad. You can has all the features that you need as a kind of on-the-go IT guy. So if you're walking around the building, you need your help desk with you, you need some of your inventory details with you. It's a completely new UI, so it's different from the phone apps that people have been trying to use on their tablets prior. So look for those soon. It hasn't been approved, I don't think, in the iPhone store yet, the Apple Store. So look for those soon. Smaller features, well, in some cases. We did an Nmap integration. So Nmap is the network mapper. It's sort of an industry-proven network scanning tool. It's pretty thorough, so it'll find devices that weren't in your inventory before and help you figure out how you're going to get them scanned into inventory as far as login credentials, stuff like that. Custom ticket forms. So on your portal, if your users submit tickets to you, not all tickets are the same. So like this is to eliminate some of the hassle in the back and forth. So if a user submits a ticket that's about like software request or something like that, chances are Chris wants to know exactly what's the version of the software that you want or something like that. So rather than having to first respond to the ticket and say, hey, what version do you want, he can just make that part of the form. So you can have custom ticket forms for different types of tickets. We changed up the software view in the app, and the software view now has ratings and reviews from your peers. So software different from devices. Software, there's probably a lot of software on your network that you didn't install, the IT guy didn't install. And so you probably want to, as you find them in inventory, you probably want to know about them and know more about whether they're good or bad. And so you can see the reviews from other IT pros directly inside the application and make a decision that way. And we also added the ability to renew your HP device warranties. And I think that covers everything. And then the most shocking, or I guess the most dramatic looking change is all the layout. So the navigation change, the masthead, which is the black bar at the top of the app, the new version. And the layout of the page, the way that it looks, all that stuff changed in the community and in the app. So we're looking forward to the feedback on that. We think it looks real good, and we're going to continue making UI user experience improvements over the next few releases as well.
I think Knox is playing tic-tac-toe with himself, and he just lost.
Poor Knox.
So back at the beginning of this series, Greg and I agreed that the top features were really going to be the knowledge base and the agent. So are we seeing feedback from users on what they're most excited about?
I'd say the excitement is generally around those two as well. We've gotten a lot of good feedback on the UI look and feel changes that we made, but there's materially, I would say, probably a lot of users don't really think about that in terms of how it improves their workflow or anything like that. So probably we don't see some of those comments because they're just not thinking about it. Knowledge base, we are seeing a lot of comments on that, I think, and just based on like usage stats that we get back from the application, we see that there's a lot of usage going on in the knowledge base already, so we're excited about that, those early results. And then the agent, I think there's a lot of people that are really excited about the agent. So I've heard of some people installing like deploying 1,000 copies of the agent on their network, stuff like that. So those are definitely coming across real well.
So as a final question, have there been any surprises? Anything turn out differently than what you originally envisioned it?
Certainly. I'd say that the two that jump to mind are the knowledge base itself. The learning process for me going through this release was that the bar is pretty high, especially when you've got a feature like knowledge base that's been asked for in the community for a really long time. Knowledge base was a feature request that rose to the top of the list because it's been there for 5 years. And so over 5 years' time, the user's expectation has evolved, and so they're expecting a lot of features to be in there, and this is our first release of the knowledge base. Of course, we can't deliver on all those features. And so we tried to deliver on the core set, and then we're going to build on that in the future. And so just sort of the feedback early on was, while there was a lot of positive feedback, and a lot of people were really excited to see it in there finally, there was a lot of tough feedback too, where there's just, because the one feature that they thought that was most important to one of them, something like that, it wasn't in there or whatever, and so they got pretty upset about that. So that was a little bit rough. And I think the biggest surprise for a lot of us was Nmap, that while Nmap can scan the network faster, the way that it does it is it's pretty aggressive, the way that it sends out packets and looks for responses and stuff like that. And we found that Nmap is not very well received in some of the networks where it gets installed, and so some switches really struggle. A lot of IP phones struggle. We've heard stories of IP-based cameras struggling with crashing, stuff like that. And so we ended up in the end making Nmap an opt-in feature. So if you're on a larger network and you need the enhancements that Nmap will give you, which is faster scan time and maybe better visibility into all the devices that are there, then you can opt into using Nmap. But we're going to continue ironing out those wrinkles that we found with Nmap and try to do more with it in the coming release.
All right. Thanks, Dave. So just a reminder to send in your questions via the social streams. Everyone who submits a question and gets it read on air will win a 4 gig USB flash drive. Sweet. Now back to Elise.
I just want to make sure it was on. Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. All right, so now that you know what's in the release, we wanted to give you a little bit more info about all the resources, the training and support resources that Spiceworks has on hand to help you get the most out of this release. So for that, we've got Todd DeRoca, who's a Marcom coordinator here at Spiceworks, and he's going to give us the lowdown on where you can go to get help.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Todd here. I am from Spiceworks University, and it's the place where the pros go to increase their IT IQ. So the first thing I want to make sure everyone knows about is our Spiceworks 6 webinar that's going to happen tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, excuse me. And so right now we have had such great turnout for all of our webinars. So the big thing I want to let you all know is we need to get there early because there's only 1,000 virtual seats available, so make sure you get there early and on time. But don't worry, if you can't get in the classroom, it's okay, because as long as you register, we're going to send you an email the following week, and it's going to have a link to the recording of the webinar. So put that on your calendar tomorrow, Friday, 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, Spiceworks 6 rundown. The other thing we want to talk about is our free support. So we have a great top-notch team of free support that we've got. And so those guys are sitting down there and answering your questions as fast as they come in. So again, it's all free, and you can email them at support@spiceworks.com. The other thing we want to make sure you do is we've got great in-classroom training sessions that we have throughout the country. And we've got 15 great Spice trainers who do those classes. And they're going to get you that nitty-gritty, deep dive information on Spiceworks. And yes, the classes have been kind of revamped and updated to talk about Spiceworks 6. So make sure you go to spiceworksuniversity.com, check out the online training and the in-classroom training. A couple more things I want to make sure everybody knows about. We have the how-tos in the community. So when you go to the community, make sure you search the how-tos. And we've got Jonathan worked on some great videos that talk about Spiceworks 6, and they're quick tidbits of how you can navigate, what cool things are there, and it'll help improve your day, and also just kind of get you in Spiceworks 6. It's great. Other thing, too, is for those of you out there who have not downloaded 6 yet, make sure you do it today. So make sure you download Spiceworks 6, and you'll get all the cool colors and features, and hey, you'll be part of the 6 team. So it's awesome. Final thing here. Make sure you go to the Spiceworks 6 community group. When you're in that community group, you're going to get all that full details of releases and just some cool updates about Spiceworks 6. And again, we want your questions here today, so make sure you send those into the social stream down at the bottom there. And if we get your question on there, that means you're going to get possibly a free 4 gig USB drive. So that's about it from me. I'm going to head back. Again, spiceworksuniversity.com. We'll see you in class, guys. Elise, back to you.
Cool. Thanks, Todd. And if you want to go to sort of one central place to get sort of all of that Todd just talked about, the 6.0 page, so www.spiceworks.com/6.0, kind of has everything. It's got the rundown of everything that's in Spiceworks 6. You can register for the webinar. You can email support. It's got all kinds of great links in there. So that's kind of the central place that you can go if you want to find out how to update or get resources or get help or anything else. So be sure to do that. Now, without further ado, one of the most exciting things for me has been the first ever beta MVP contest that we had this time around. And what we really want to do is recognize our beta testers because they're an integral part of making this release, every release, happen here at Spiceworks. And we wanted to recognize one particular tester who just went above and beyond in helping us test the beta, and contributions to the group and in spotting bugs and everything else was just phenomenal. So our winner of the first ever beta MVP award and the person who we will be flying to Spice World Austin this October is Bernard W. from Minneapolis. And I have him on Skype. So we're going to chat with him a little bit as I put my headphones in. Bernard, are you there? Oh, I can't hear him. Hold on. Hello? There you are.
Sorry, already.
How are you? Congratulations.
Oh, you just went out.
I did. Are we good? Can you hear me?
Barely.
Okay, I'll try to speak really loudly. So first of all, congratulations on being the first MVP. It's really exciting for us, especially to be able to recognize you because I know you did a ton of stuff to help us out in this release. So congratulations. What do you think?
I'm really excited. It was great fun to be so involved in the 6.0 group and help people figure out what's going on with it and all the changes that were made and when bugs showed up, how to get around them if I had dealt with them before, saw someone else in the community explain what was going on.
Yeah, it was great. I was in the group a lot and I saw you all over the place. You were always the first person to jump in and answer people's questions, and of course you were named Beta Tester of the Week a couple of times, so we noticed it all along the way, but you really were, it was kind of unanimous when we talked to the dev and testing teams here, and they all said, it's got to be Bernard W. who really helped us out the most. So it's really great. We can't really thank you enough really for doing it. But what prompted you to be so active? What kind of made you want to help us out so much?
I really liked new software, and I also was really involved in the 5.0 beta, and some of the little suggestions I had made there really impacted how 5.0 turned out in the end. So seeing how great the feedback that's given in the beta happened, or what it's taken as, and how it is actually implemented in the final release, that really got me going. And then the Spice Cup was another one that really got me started and interested in working on this beta. And then as the MVP contest was released, it was like, okay, I'll keep going, as work level was starting to increase, but yeah, why not? Let's go for the contest.
Just another extra added bonus. You mentioned the Spice Cup, so I know you're the Spice Leader for the Minneapolis Spice Corps, right? Is that what we're looking at right behind you is the Spice Cup?
Yep. Right over my shoulder is the Spice Cup,
Sweet.
and it's a binder that was started with the first Spice Cup contest of notes that Spice Leaders will pass on as the cup gets passed around. So it was great fun winning the second Spice Cup award, and hopefully it'll become a bigger contest that more Spice Corps will be interested in participating in.
That's so cool. I love that you have it at arm's length at all times. That's fantastic. For those of you that didn't actually think this was an actual trophy, that it was somehow metaphorical, it is not true. It is a physical trophy that is handed back and forth between winning Spice Corps. So it's very cool. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person in Spice World. I know all of the dev and support teams that you've been talking to online in the forums are also looking forward to meeting you and thanking you in person. So thanks so much for all of your help during the beta, and thanks for tuning in today and letting us give you some props, not really in person, but at least, you know, face to face, and letting us thank you for everything that you did during the beta. And we really appreciate it, and we're really looking forward to seeing you at SpiceCore.
Yep, I'm excited to come to.
And Bernard W. is also going to get one of these Spiceworks 6 shirts that's specific for the beta MVP.
Spice World 2.
Yeah, so it's going to be really fun. You can wear the t-shirt to Spiceworks, to Spice World, and we'll know how to spot you, because you'll be the only one wearing it. So, all right, awesome. Well, thank you so much. The Spice Cup segue is awesome. You should hold that up a little bit. Can you hold it closer to the camera? Ah,
there it is.
So shiny. And you can see the SpiceCore sort of icon right below it. There it is.
Yep.
Oh, it's so nice. Battle for the Spice Cup. All right, this is a perfect segue because we have Jessica Nolan here, who's our the queen of the SpiceCore, I like to call her. She doesn't know that. She does now. And she's going to be talking a little bit more about the Spice Cup and SpiceCore and what is in store for this next contest. So thank you so much, Bernard. I know Jessica's looking forward to meeting you and talking to you too at Spice World, so we'll see you then.
Yep,
thanks.
See you then.
Oh, and off to Jessica.
Thanks, Elise. Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica. I'm your go-to gal here at Spiceworks HQ for everything SpiceCore, which, if you don't already know, SpiceCore are local user groups that meet up in person to trade. Looking over here now. SpiceCores are local user groups that meet up in person to trade tips and tricks, talk shop, and maybe even have a beer or two. And each quarter, SpiceCores everywhere compete for cash and prizes for their meetups in the battle for the Spice Cup. Q2's contest was all about finding bugs during beta testing, and the grand prize Spice Cup is going to be awarded to the SpiceCore that found the most bugs. It was a really close race for the past couple of months, and we had some last-minute bugs that were verified prior to the release, and we're here to announce the winners. In third place, we have the SpiceCore of Calgary, Alberta. Applause. And in second place, the SpiceCore of Indianapolis. And in first place, and the winner of the Spice Cup, is the SpiceCore of Metro Detroit. So congratulations. Detroit. Congratulations to Detroit and the other two groups, and be on the lookout for details for next quarter's Battle for the Spice Cup.
Thanks,
Elise?
Jessica. So exciting. All right, thanks so much for the update, and thanks to all of you guys who helped us beta test and were a part of all the contests and everything else during the beta. Don't forget to send in your questions. If you've got questions about Spiceworks 6, you can send them in using the social stream, and if your question's read aloud on the air, we will be sending out a Spiceworks 6 4-gig flash drive. So get those questions in, and I will also be asking you to PM me your mailing address if your question is read. So be prepared for that, just so I can make sure to get your USB flash drives out to you. All right, so on to the live Q&A with David Babbitt and, of course, our own IT pro, Jeff Gretler.
What's up, guys? Jeff Gretler, sysadmin, back with David Babbitt. We got questions? Hi there.
Right? That was good.
Oh, I always get those flipped up. Like this. Got it. All right, you got questions? We got answers. I don't know is an answer. So,
Good.
first question. Ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready.
Any more impressions?
No more
No,
impressions.
you sure? That was awesome. That was awesome. That was beautiful. Let me compose my. All right, we're good. All right, first question comes from Palmer Tech. Does the agent deliver data via the internet, or only when connected via VPN or in the office?
So it just needs to know the address of your host, and so it's kind of up to you how you want to set that up. You can do it either way. So if you want to poke a hole, like a port forward through your firewall to the SSL port of your Spiceworks server, you can set it up to where it'll go through the internet at all times. Or if you want to just give it like the internal IP address, then it'll only be able to connect whenever it's on the VPN. So either way you want to do it.
Cool. Makes sense. Second one, Sanruff. When is the iPad app going to be available?
So it's been submitted to the store as far as I know, and
It looks cool.
thanks.
Oh,
So we're just, I don't know what the typical response time is there. I think it's like a week or two.
Yeah.
And so it's been submitted. So the iPad app, different from the iPhone app and the Android app previously, it's not a native app. So the UI is actually just mobile HTML UI. And so the UI is already in the app. So you have to install Spiceworks 6 in order to get it. And then the tablet just connects to the UI that's in your Spiceworks server. So
Cool. Next question is from Derek Schlag. Sorry if I said that wrong. Will you be able to install the agent or devices already scanned into the inventory and vice versa?
if I understand the question correctly, installing the agent on devices that are already in inventory, is that?
That's what it seems like. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
The agent already
Yes.
scanned in inventory.
Yes,
Yep.
so you can put the agent on those computers, and then we won't create duplicates, so we'll realize it's the same computer, and then it'll show up in your inventory with little agent icon on it, and you'll know that that's a computer now that has the agent on it.
Cool. Matthew Barnes wants to know, has the system requirements changed since 5.x?
We haven't updated those in a while, so probably they are higher than what's ever listed online, I would say. Just we didn't add anything that was, I would say, materially more taxing on the resources of the computer. So I don't think that anything in this release bumped it up, but I would probably say that probably just in general over the past couple of years, adding features to the application, stuff like that has made it a little bit higher than probably the last time we updated those requirements. The agent does require, I think it's the Microsoft.NET Framework 3.5, so that if you're trying to install the agent on older computers like XP computers, that's a little bit of a dependency problem there, but on Windows 7, all the dependencies are already installed.
It's always fun to buy new toys, though, so go ahead. Sure. You don't need to, but you want to, so do it. Thom Gann wants to know, can pictures be posted on KB articles?
Wow, getting questionable
What kind
here.
of pictures are we talking about here?
Yeah. Yeah. So pictures, videos. There is an attachment limit, just so that we don't end up spending too much on disk space until we figure out a better solution there. And so the limit's pretty high. So you can attach pictures and videos and screenshots, whatever you need to do.
Cool. Derek Schlag. What would you say was the most difficult feature to implement in 6.0?
It's a little bit unfair just because I don't implement hardly any of it, and so
In the ivory tower, shooting down your bolts of
that's
lightning.
right.
Get that done.
That would be nice. So let me think. There was lots of moving parts to a lot of it. It's hard to say. I think introducing new technology occurred in all three of the big features. So really the agent was actually a long time coming. We had an intern working on it last summer, and then we had a guy come on board last year, and he took it over, and he's been working on it. It was actually pretty much beta ready in January. But that took a good, the better part of a year to build. That's all new code. The knowledge base, we were doing something there that we had never done previously in terms of how that works and how it integrates with the community. So that was a lot of new stuff. That was a lot of hard work. And then the way that we discover the cloud services that your end users are using, that's also something that's completely different from what we have done previously. And so it was also a lot of work. So I would say all that stuff's hard.
I know. It's kind of unfair to say. I was joking around, but considering all the changes that were in 6.0, and it went pretty smoothly. So you can say all of it was hard, but a lot of it could have been a lot worse, considering everything that changed in this one.
Yeah, if you look at previous releases, we typically had kind of one big feature that went in lots of smaller stuff. And so in this release, and this is really a direct result of how many people we've hired in the past couple of years. So in this release, we've got several teams working on big features, and so we landed 3 big features in one release.
Yeah, that was huge.
It's a pretty big deal.
That was good. All right, keep the questions coming. It's T-ball, so everybody wins. So let's do this. So it's Tank 203 wants to know: is there a recommended maximum number of agents installed on a network?
That's a good question. I don't have that number. I think ask that in the support forum, and we'll see. Ezra, the guy that developed the agent, is taking a much-deserved break today, and so he can't answer that question, or I'd holler at him. But I know we've had people installing 1,000. I think that's probably on the upper end.
Cool. All right, next one comes from Jason Hand. Will new cloud services be recognized when they are released?
Yes, and so I'm going to, if I remember, I'm going to try to show it during the webinar tomorrow. And so in the cloud services function inventory, you can see, where we'll show you all the different ones that we discovered on your network. There's also like a feedback link in there. And so if you don't see one that your end users are using and you want us to show it, then you can provide feedback, and we'll get some details from you in order to make sure that shows up in there. And then we have the ability to push kind of new rules down to the app. And so we'll be able to roll that out to everybody so everybody wins.
Cool. T-ball. Everybody wins. Elliot Friend here wants to take a peek behind the curtain a little bit. What are some of the planned features for Spiceworks 7? It's a little...
7? I don't know. So we're working on 6.
We're still celebrating 6 here.
The body isn't even cold yet. So 7, I don't know what the plan is for 7. 7's probably a next year release. So 6.2 is the release that we're working on for the fall, and so we hope to have that in beta by Spiceworld. And some of the, I don't know all the features that are going into 6.2. We've got to make headway on some pretty big things that'll show up in 7. So some of our dev staff will actually be working on 7. It's just not going to see anything until next year. But I know that one of the features that came up frequently during these live streams was doing single sign-on in the portal. We already have somebody working on that, so people should be pretty excited about that. And we've got a couple other improvements in the help desk, so we're working on those already. And we end up in this release tabling some of the features that we tried to do for improving the scan logic and some of the capabilities of what you can get out of your scanner. And so we're going to put those back on the table and try to get those done in the 6.2 timeframe. So we're excited about all that stuff.
No, lots of good stuff coming. All right, Carlos Paredes, is there a way to update all remote agents to the latest version?
Hey, Brandon?
Hold, please.
Hold, please. Is there a way to update all of the remote agents to the latest version?
They'll auto-update themselves.
Wow.
That's
nice.
Impressive.
So as long as they're connected.
We didn't plan that either. That was just awesome.
Yeah, as long as the agents have already connected into your central server, if you go ahead and update your central server, the agent is automatically going to detect that a new version is available, and that will update all of those clients on check-in.
Sweet.
Nice. Thanks, man.
He's wearing a shirt too.
Right.
That's right.
We didn't plan that.
We didn't plan that.
That's awesome, man. Came out of the ether. All right. Jim Green, next question. Is the 900 pixel width set, or can you make it fill the screen?
It is set, but there's a plug-in to expand to the full width of the monitor. Short answer.
Period.
Period.
Oh, we did work on that. We saw that. Someone was showing us that plugin, so
yeah.
Cool. All right.
So I think it's wider than 900. I think we bumped it up after some of the initial feedback. I don't know what the width is, but I think we bumped it up.
Cool. All right, Jay Fountainot. Sorry. Is the agent good for devices on the LAN that do not scan properly?
Well, that depends. So the agent is built only for Windows. So if you're talking about something non-Windows that's not scanning, then no, it's not going to help there. If you've got like some weird WMI DCOM issue or something like that, and your Windows devices aren't scanning, then yeah, you could use the agent to do that. That would solve that problem.
Makes sense. All right, final question.
Oof.
Speak now, forever hold your peace. RT Keating, in the Google Play Store, should we be using Spiceworks or Spiceworks Mobile, and what is the difference? Trick question.
That is a trick.
No pressure. I was talking about like the mobile app in the browser.
So I really don't know what the Google Play Store is. Is that the Android store for?
Yeah,
okay.
that's what they. Yeah.
So that's a good question, and I don't know, if the mobile tester's up here to ask that question. So my guess is it's Spiceworks and not Spiceworks Mobile, because Spiceworks Mobile to me sounds like the phone version that was previously released.
You're right. I think we did actually in the Google App Store we had a Spiceworks app in there. So.
The Spiceworks app is the community.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So I think you do want to be using Spiceworks Mobile, but you can PM us for confirmation on that. But I think it is.
Yeah, the new one might be
Mobile.
called Mobile HD or something like that.
Right.
So maybe it's not in there yet. Yeah, good question. I actually don't have the answer to that.
So
Sorry.
best question, and we're going to end on that.
right,
That's
the
the main
stumper.
event right there.
That's the stumper.
So thanks, David. That
You're
was
welcome.
awesome. Let's do it
Very well.
right in front of the mural to Nick Cage. Thanks, man.
Thanks, you're welcome.
So actually, that's it. We're going to bring in Elise, and we're
All right,
going to...
That's it. That's it. Well, so first of all, though, don't forget to PM me or email me your address. If your question was read on the air, I'll need your mailing address, and I'll get that sent out to you. But I need you to mail it to me or, PM me. Otherwise, I'm not going to know where to send it. So be sure to do that. I'm Elise at Spiceworks, or you can find me. I'm in the community. You'll find me. And that was it. That's our big finale for Spiceworks 6. We will have other live streams. We're going to be doing one actually in August that's sponsored by Dell around security, I think. And Chris Bishover will be part of that too. I think it's security. Yes. So stay tuned for that. But as far as Spiceworks 6 goes, this is the end. So it's been great. We've had so much fun. It's been, I hope all of you guys, I hope all of you guys have gotten as much out of it as I have. So, but there are a couple of people that you guys haven't seen during the course of this whole series that I'd really like to sort of have come out from behind the thing. So these guys have been working really hard to bring you these live streams throughout. And so, Todd, he was just here, but Todd and James, who you also have seen answer questions during the Q&A, they've been our sort of social media guys. Andy here is our videographer. He's kind of the puppet master. And then Kavan, who's working the camera and is one of our graphic designers. And then Bryce, who probably won't be able to come out from behind the laptop.
He has to turn off the light switch when we all leave.
He can't because things will break.
For a second, come here.
Just pop your head out. Bryce. All right, that means that we'll have one episode devoted entirely to Bryce Hayes. So stay tuned for that.
Behind the scenes.
Most importantly, I want to thank all of the dev and testing and support teams here at Spiceworks who've actually built this product. Come on, guys. We're trying to get them to stand up and take some props.
That's right.
So these are the guys that actually built the product, and all of us are here because of IT pros and to try to help make all of your lives better. So let's give a hand to all the guys that built this product. It's an awesome job. Nice work, guys. So from all of us, all of you, thanks so much. We hope you update to Spiceworks soon and get the most out of it that you can, and we will see you all soon. Take care.